All right, y'all. We got two-time Olympic gold medalist Robeisy Ramirez is going to be fighting Abraham Nava this weekend on the Artur Beterbiev Joe Smith Jr. undercard. And Anthony Joshua was just signed a $100 million deal with DAZN. So let's chop this up. Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Hey, hear him. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier.
Hey, what's up with it, fam? It's Hot Boxing Minute, your favorite pharmaceutical engineer turned boxing analyst, back at you with the realness, of course, because that's the only way I could chop it up, flip it, and rub it down for you folks. And I wanted to talk about, again, going back to the Joe Smith Jr. Artur Beterbiev card in that video I just made earlier this week. I want to talk about the undercard to that event. Robeisy Ramirez versus Abraham Nava in the featherweight division, the 126-pound limit. Now, I'm a big fan of this matchup, so I felt it deserved at least some kind of discussion or some kind of addressing in the form of a video. Now, we've got Robeisy Ramirez fighting Abraham Nava on the undercard to Beterbiev Joe Smith Jr. out there at Madison Square Garden in NYC. Robeisy Ramirez, the two-time Olympic gold medalist, against the ever so colorful Abraham Nava. If y'all don't remember, that's the guy with the orange beard who had his own mascot. I like this matchup, folks. We've got Robeisy Ramirez, who was a two-time Olympic gold medalist in 2012 and 2016. He won the gold. He beat some of the best names in the game, guys like Mick Conlon, King Tug, Shakur Stevenson. Now, he also is kind of famous for losing his first professional fight against the much unheralded Aiden Gonzalez. He got the win back in a rematch, and he's been undefeated since that first loss. But yeah, he came into the game as one of the most highly decorated amateur fighters in recent history, and he caught an L in his first fight. And now he's going to be fighting Abraham Nava this weekend. And I like this matchup. You got Robeisy Ramirez, who is obviously got the deep amateur pedigree, 2 Olympic gold medals, 400 amateur fights, going up against the undefeated and colorful Abraham Nava from Puerto Rico. Now, you got to give it up to Abraham Nava. The man is undefeated himself, and he definitely, as a professional, has fought much better competition. He got off his recent fight against William Encarnacion and Avery Sparrow, probably the 2 biggest names on his resume. And if you don't remember, for those of you who don't remember, hold on. Why am I forgetting his name right off the top of my head? Okay, I remember the name of the person he called out. Okay, so for some of you who aren't familiar or don't remember Abraham Nava, that was the fighter with the orange beard. At the end of his fight, he called out Emmanuel Navarrete. So I personally am a big fan of Abraham Nava. I like colorful, loud characters. He brought out his own mascot. He clearly understands how to market himself, and even had the cojones after that win against William Encarnacion in his last fight to call out Emmanuel Navarrete. And Emmanuel Navarrete is no joke, the undefeated featherweight champion. So at the very least, Abraham Nava is a colorful character, and he's down to call out anybody in his division. Kudos to that guy. We've got a slick southpaw in Robeisy Ramirez against an orthodox fighter in Abraham Nava. I would say, if anything, Robeisy Ramirez definitely is a more slicker type of fighter. He has better footwork. Obviously, you can see the fluidity of his punches and the way he moves, that he does technically have the tools, I think, to beat a guy like Abraham Nava. Hold on a second, y'all. It is the summertime, and during this time of year, the weather just gets really warm, and I start sweating in my recording space here. Normally, I have a wall air conditioning unit, but it's a wall air conditioning unit, and it makes a lot of noise. Anyways, Robeisy Ramirez, 2-time Olympic gold medalist, fighting Abraham Nava. I'm going to keep repeating that to y'all just to let you know. Robeisy Ramirez is a slick southpaw fighter going up against Abraham Nava, who's an orthodox fighter, who I wouldn't say is slick, but he's also not a defensive slouch himself. I would, if anything, say at the very least, Abraham Nava has the advantage in power, but Robeisy Ramirez's technique is no joke. There's a reason why Robeisy Ramirez defeated guys like Shakur Stevenson and Mick Conlon in the amateurs. Now, they're going to be going heads up. This is definitely a step up in competition for Robeisy Ramirez. His last fight was a blowout. I don't even remember his opponent's name. Let me look this up real quick so I don't mess this up. Okay, in his last fight, he fought Eric Donovan. If I'm not mistaken, he was an Irish guy. I don't really know, but he knocked him, got the TKO stoppage, I want to say in the 3rd or 4th round. And up until that point, I think he went 3 or 4 fights in a row getting decisions. But he's definitely made some stylistic changes since that first professional loss to Aiden Gonzalez. He's definitely got more focused on sitting down in his punches, taking a less amateur approach to his style. But you can still see the definite amateur influence in Robeisy Ramirez's style. But I do believe, given some time, he should acclimate. I got my fingers crossed. I want to believe that we got us a two-time Olympic gold medalist that will end up having a nice high ceiling as a professional. He definitely has the resume and the background that would make us believe that he should have a pretty high ceiling as a professional, but not to discount Abraham Nava. Abraham Nava had 200 amateur fights also, or almost 200. Abraham Nava and Robeisy Ramirez came up with that nice new young generation of fighters. They were in the amateur circuit going toe-to-toe with guys like Jermaine Ortiz, Teofimo Lopez, Shakur Stevenson. So these guys have deep amateur pedigrees and went toe-to-toe in their amateur days with the best of the current crop of lightweights, featherweights, and super featherweights in the game right now. Now, as far as the fight between Robeisy Ramirez and Abraham Nava, I think if anything, I might just lean in favor of Robeisy Ramirez to win this fight by decision, but I'm not confident in that one because Abraham Nava is no easy outing for anybody, and both have shown that they are not going to quit or going to lose without a lot of effort being exerted by the other side. So when it comes to Abraham Nava against Robeisy Ramirez, I'm going to have to lean in favor of Robeisy Ramirez and his deep amateur pedigree, and I believe he does have just slightly more technical skills and more tools in the box as a slick southpaw. And I believe he'll win by a 12-round, highly contested but still unanimous decision. Boxing fans, how do you think that fight plays out? Let me know in the comments section. Leave a comment. Hit that like button. Are you not already following this page? Anyways, got a chance to cover Robeisy Ramirez and Abraham Nava. I wanted to switch up to a whole nother thing. The latest boxing news now is Anthony Joshua just signed a $100 million partnership deal with DAZN Broadcasting. That would effectively mean he has to cut all his business ties with Sky Sports, giving DAZN exclusivity rights to him. He's going in there to sign a deal for an indefinite amount of time to fight 2 times a year. He will go in there as, hold on a second. Oh, did I lose the page? Okay, hold on. Let me find out the exact details so I get these rights. Okay. So Anthony Joshua just signed a $100 million long-term deal with DAZN that will see him fighting twice a year. He will also be a shareholder in the company, a special advisor, a brand ambassador for DAZN, and I'm pretty sure we can expect to see him in possible color commentator roles in the future for big fights out there in the UK, maybe some United States venues and fights also. I don't know, but do you think that's a smart idea for DAZN to invest that kind of money in Anthony Joshua? And is it smart for Anthony Joshua to sign a long-term deal? Let me know in the comments section, folks. I personally am not sure. I'm not sure. I think about where Anthony Joshua is in his career. Are we seeing decline in Anthony Joshua? He is, I want to say he's 32. He's 32 years old. I got it on here. He's coming off a loss to Alexander Usyk. And Anthony Joshua just recently switched trainers. He's going over to Robert Garcia ahead of his fight or his rematch with Alexander Usyk. And the question is, can Robert Garcia fix what's wrong with Anthony Joshua? Now, I think Robert Garcia's style is the kind of ideal style. If you are going to have a style to go against Alexander Usyk, you want it to be an aggressive style. Use Anthony Joshua's size and physicality. But is it the mechanics of Anthony Joshua that need work or the mindset of Anthony Joshua? Because it seems like Anthony Joshua might be a little bit gun-shy ever since he got knocked down by Andy Ruiz. I'm just saying. Now, regardless of what, I do think Robert Garcia is a good choice. And, hey, more power to Anthony Joshua. The thing is, he just signed this long-term deal with DAZN. What happens if Anthony Joshua loses? Does that mean DAZN further loses money on their investment? Does Anthony Joshua's star power? Okay. So let me ask this question and frame it. So with Anthony Joshua signing a $100 million deal with DAZN, which lasts for the foreseeable future, is this a bad proposition or a bad signing by DAZN? Should Anthony Joshua lose that rematch to Alexander Usyk? You tell me. I do know that Anthony Joshua is a huge commodity out there in the UK. He is essentially the UK's Sugar Ray Leonard. He is a good-looking dude, Olympic gold medalist, highly marketable. He is a social media star out there. Actually, he's a social media star, period. Instagram, YouTube, and all that are an international commodity. And he did come off that recent loss to Alexander Usyk. Will he win in his rematch against Alexander Usyk? I'm not exactly sure. I think people going into that fight with Alexander Usyk, I think a lot of people assumed when Anthony Joshua was fighting Alexander Usyk that he could just bully him and try to use his physicality against him. And it looked like he didn't, but I think he did. And maybe Alexander Usyk just shut it all down with his technical expertise. I think that's an option that a lot of boxing fans might have overlooked when they saw how Alexander Usyk essentially washed him, 10-2, 9-3 in that fight. If anything, I think Anthony Joshua should use his physicality. I think he shouldn't be scared to get hit by Alexander Usyk. Usyk hasn't shown, that he's a crazy knockout artist or that he has nearly the kind of thumping power that Anthony Joshua has. So hopefully he fixes it with Robert Garcia. And I'm glad to see Anthony Joshua securing his future outside of boxing. I think at 32 years old, in some of the heavy fights that he's been fighting for years now. He had the amateur pedigree. You definitely, as a fighter, want to start thinking in advance about what he's going to do as he retires. And this is definitely securing his future. It's a very smart move for Anthony Joshua. I hope it pays out fortuitously for both parties involved. I always want to see fighters get paid. I will never be a person that sides against a fighter making as much money or securing future generational wealth, which I think he already obviously has, but at least be able to make considerable amounts of money after boxing. So more power to Anthony Joshua. I hope DAZN stops losing billions a year and succeeds in their plan to become the biggest online sports provider in the world. Good luck with that one. I like DAZN's format for boxing, so I hope they do well in the future. Boxing community, what do you think about Anthony Joshua's decision to sign a long-term contract with DAZN? Let me know in the comments section. He won't be working with Sky Sports anymore, by the way. I think that's a given. Anyways, hit follow if you haven't already done so, folks. Leave a comment, give me an idea or a suggestion. We can roll with that too. I've got some suggestions I'm going to work on in the future that I've received from comment sections out here on the YouTube channel. Hit that like button, folks. This is Hot Boxing Minute. Till I see you next time. Peace.